It's 10 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve minutes from previous meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries. We don't have agenda, do we?
There wasn't anything on it.
Unless any additions or corrections to the
Well, I amend
agenda.
it so, because I'm here.
We'll need to.
Last week, we talked about
I do.
that magistrate appointing commission. Did you guys get back to those three guys?
I
I
did.
haven't.
Okay. So I didn't put that on the agenda because I didn't know if you
No.
made contact, so I don't have, well, we can
Yeah.
amend the agenda to talk to Vicki.
I'll make the motion to amend the agenda to include discussion with the treasurer.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to amend the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries.
We need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the amended agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries.
Which one did you want to talk about?
Probably all of them.
Okay. Okay, we could start first with one that Les Gelson is asking about. He owns a property next door already, and he said the door to this is always open, and he said, I'm worried about kids getting in there or animals getting in there, and he said, and you know, that carries over to his property. And he has gone in and taken care of or updated some other properties in town. So I know that he wouldn't just let it go. I know that he would pay the taxes on it and he would try to do what he could with it. It's one that's in Sac County's name, you know, for public bidder. Has a tax sale up here, I wrote.
He's asking for the taxes to be abated.
I think if he would do it, yeah, he would probably want them abated, yeah.
Well, he would need to ask for that.
Mm-hmm.
So how many dollars are we looking at abating that?
Was it total it? $2,275.52.
And how long has this been on the?
Ever since
Does that
2008.
That only includes our portion? That doesn't include any city
It
assessment?
does have some city assessment.
And so what is the history of the city's piece? I mean,
Actually, theirs is most of it,
yeah.
yeah.
So we would only have the authority to do ours, not
Okay.
theirs.
All right. Do you want to add these, up with the calculator?
Go ahead.
Here we go, I got a little one.
Okay.
I thought it did.
Okay.
Excuse me, Dale, I didn't.
The city probably got them for snow and grass.
How do you turn it on?
And so what did
Just
they
hit a button
do as
at the
far
top.
They
Do,
On or off, it should be a red button.
right, the original owner, do they abate
Oh,
anything
here
for
we go.
anybody to take over?
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea if they will or not.
Okay.
Kurt, have they ever done that?
I don't think they've ever abated anyone.
9302.
But
I
it's
don't
an unowned property, basically. But nobody's ever asked before that I recall.
Really? I can't believe
I can't believe that.
Yeah,
either.
I'm surprised. We've, in a couple of the situations that we've had Shaler, we had a situation where there was a city assessment for a road improvement, and there was kind of a wrangle over that. I don't know how they settled it, but
You wanna call Adam and ask him?
we could.
He's sick right now at home.
Oh, is he?
Okay. 540.
Well, I mean, that's up to them.
Right.
I mean, so our piece of the 2,200 is only 540.
No, this is what they would have out of that
Oh, okay.
2,275.52. So we own the majority of it.
Okay.
I thought it'd be the other way
But
around.
he's still gonna have to come in and ask for that, correct?
Oh, he has to come in himself? Okay, okay. I can tell him that.
For for us to, we want, I guess we want some assurance that he's gonna
That's your copy.
take care of the property and.
Oh, he does though. He does, and I wouldn't even brought it up to you if he didn't.
The
But
$500
he,
was
It's a
the special
yeah,
assessment.
so that would be the city I'd have to talk to.
Well, the city would owe more than that in their regular property taxes too. Wasn't the $500 just a special assessment?
Yes, just that,
Yeah,
yes.
so there's more than that that the city would
So,
receive. Because the property taxes that you
Right,
portion out to them.
right, but, yeah, but
So
the tax is separate from the city specials.
I understand that,
Okay.
but the total thing was $2,200.
Yeah.
You take 500 out of that for the special assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and that leaves 1,600, 1,700. Part of that 1,700 is still property taxes that are owed to the city,
Okay.
right?
But don't we have the ability to abate anything that's not special assessment?
You do? Yes.
That's the way I always understood it, but I could be wrong, but
I know, on other occasions, we've asked for input from the city and the school. where they-
have we?
Subtract, why did we do that? Okay.
The downside here is they're getting absolutely nothing. At this point in time,
Right.
both entities are
Right.
not receiving anything.
Right.
If we can get it back on the active roll, they'll start to be paid again.
Absolutely.
Whereas if we leave it, it's gonna be zero.
That isn't right, I don't know, I can't get the calculator, I know that answer is not right. Can't get it, just,
I guess, as I think this through, I think he needs to make the contacts, at least with the city, to find out, there's no sense us abating that tax and then he doesn't take it because he's not gonna pay the city assessment or something.
okay,
Because then all we've done is reduce it for the original owner, and
right.
so I think
Well,
he has
the
to get.
original owner has passed away.
Okay.
So I think that's
There's
part of
there's
it.
no one that would assume it.
Apparently not, nobody's doing anything about
I
it,
see.
for sure. I mean, when they've let it go that long, so,
What
you know,
do you
it
guys
was
think?
either that or, you know, in the summer, we would probably do that auction that we have done before. And I don't know that, you have pictures of it on there, I don't know that it would bring anything, so, just
I
my
didn't see
own
the
thought.
picture.
It's just part of the back.
And again, it's because I know that he does clean them up a little bit and.
I mean, would he rent it out then and, or
He
just
has
keep
done
it?
that with other properties. Now this, I don't know if he's just concerned enough that he wants to make sure that the doors are secure or what he's thinking, but, you know, with property next door. But he has on his other properties, has rented them out, fixes them up and rents them out.
Well, I have no problem with abating taxes just to get it back on tax roll, but.
I can get a hold of him and tell him he needs to come in himself.
Well, and I guess,
communicate with the city.
yeah, I think,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tell him to communicate with the city first and then come in. Because if they're not gonna make some kind of arrangement, or if he doesn't agree to pay the city portion,
Right.
then we've done
Okay.
nothing.
Okay, okay, will do.
What's the address on
It is 510 Platt Street, or the east 48 feet of Lot 6, Block 40, Beck, Guy and Platt's edition. Okay,
But it is 510 Platts.
yeah, right. But you know, when I tried to call that up, I could not get it up on the GCS or GIS
I
program.
know the house.
Yeah,
I drive by it, but a lot of times
Sure.
when the door is
yeah, open, yeah,
somebody finally put a block in front of it.
yeah.
I know it, yep.
You know, and I don't know if that was him or, I don't know who did that, but, you know, he's just been concerned about it, so I thought, okay, I'll bring this up. The other thing, Adam wanted to know, for the city, if you could make a resolution so that the city could go in and take care of some of these abandoned properties. He didn't tell me which ones they were thinking about. He's kind of
Resolution
vague.
to, as far as what? As far as
As far,
tax abatement or
yeah,
what?
here. The county ordinance I'm seeking would cite code 446.19A, which allows cities to purchase abandoned residential property at tax sale.
446, what?
.19A.
Couldn't
So-
they do it already?
Huh?
Can't they do it
He
already?
wants a resolution. He wants a resolution written up. And he's very firm about that. And he said, I've got one council member that thinks that's the answer to all of our prayers. So, I don't know. Somebody out there is trying,
Well, I mean, I guess there's nothing wrong with that if they want to purchase and clean it up. There's no
Yeah.
reason we should oppose that.
The city of Lakeview does that on a pretty regular basis.
Right.
I
But
don't know what kind of resolution they got.
see, I don't either. So I don't know if you want to talk to Adam personally.
Maybe we should have Adam come in and talk to us about it.
The other, obviously, some of the other towns are acting under some other.
I told him that.
Well,
I told him that. It's
Lytton-
already,
Litton's knocked down about 3 or 4
Right.
in the last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
But when I
Which-
told him this, he was adamant that he wanted this resolution. So, because
Okay. Well, and that's, yeah, but I mean, they have, and they've come in and asked for tax abatement if they assume them, which is fine,
Yeah.
but I don't think, I mean,
do you
they're
want me
not.
to have him come in and just visit with you?
Sure,
also?
and we
Okay.
can, I mean, we can ask him why
I
you
can do
think
that.
that's
Sure.
necessary.
Exactly.
Um,
Because I sure can't get an
And
answer out of him.
If it is necessary, I guess I would be in favor of doing it, because if that
Yes,
helps
if it
clean it
helps,
up,
yeah, that's right.
gives them a better avenue to do that work, why not?
We've never got involved in cost share or helping stand those expenses
No.
in any of the towns.
Our arrangement has been, for anybody who comes in, that we would agree to abate the back taxes. And so, and that's been consistent, we've
Yeah.
had kind of all over.
Yeah. But I have told him all of that, and he's
Okay.
just firm on the resolution. So that's how I'm gonna present it to you, that he's just firm on that. And I will
That's
have him
fine.
come in to talk to you. That would be better.
Because we would be interested
Yeah.
as to why he
Yes.
thinks that's necessary.
If you get an answer, let me know.
That, you wrote
And
that
that's-
code section down?
I did.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
I did.
so
Yeah.
we can check on that.
Okay, I'll give these two a call.
Thank you, Vicky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to Approve the claims in the amount of $78,865.81.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the claims. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, all ayes, motion carries. We can go into recess. We'll come out of recess.
Ron, good morning.
County crews blading rough areas on gravel roads, plowing and sanding paved roads as needed, cutting trees and brush down and treating stumps within the right of way. Continue to repost numerous aging bridges around the county. Redesigning and fabricating a new guide wheel configuration on the edge rut shoulder machine. Replenishing ice control, sand stockpiles, and replacing part of our salt stockpile. Replacing brakes on gravel trailers. Project status, as I noted last week, that white topping project is complete. As far as the field work, we just need to finish up the paperwork and get ready for the DOT audit. I got a memo on my retirement. Judy seemed to think I needed to sign it, make it official to the auditor. As we've talked before, I needed to give you a date, and March 31st, I guess, is what I would like to retire at. And if it becomes necessary for me to work a few days beyond that, I just need to know far enough in advance to get my apers adjusted, so. It's 60 days, I think, is what they'd like to see, but if the paperwork's already in the work, I don't know what it would take to whether I can give them 30 days notice to back it up a month. I guess I'm not sure, but when you start looking at a timeline of, now that you guys know the date, and Brunel and Scott get together, and I need to give you, they did get a new guide published. I can't remember, did I give you the earlier one? They did finally publish a new guide, just came out last week. And the older guide they had, I think, had to have been 15, 20 years old, maybe older than that, I don't know. But Nicole Fox with the Iowa DOT Local Systems, I think, spearheaded this whole thing, and then Steve DeFries with the Iowa State Association of the Iowa Service Bureau, excuse me. And then they had 3 supervisors, 6 county engineers, and then Jack Lipovac from an HR professional from HR One Source. And they've got like 14 pages that talk about just an introduction, interim engineers, shared engineers, procedure on page 7 when a vacancy occurs, and then some general duties, salary, some sample interview questions, and then attachment A, they've got 3 possible ads, and then in section B, they've got, I don't know, just 5 or 6 sample job descriptions. So I guess I'll, whatever help you and Scott want, I guess you'll need to read through that, I guess, and just, they suggest that you get procedure sit down as far as, you know, how many you think you're gonna interview and who's gonna do the interviewing, you know, and how you're gonna do the interview, whether you're gonna do it in an open meeting or how you plan to do that, so. Item 4 there, I will be at the County Engineers Conference next week. And I'll let it known to the engineers I run into down there that, you know, I'll be retiring. In fact, if you want me to, I could put it out on the County Engineers Service Bureau later this week that I'm planning to retire March 31st.
I think that'd be
Yeah,
good.
it'd be helpful.
And Calhoun and Sac County will be advertising soon, I guess, or something to that effect. And just that way, if anybody wants to talk to me at the conference down there,
Mhm.
you can visit a little bit. So
You shared this information with your staff here?
I had not here yet.
You will today?
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I typically send them a copy of this report as soon as I get it typed up, so they already
Okay.
saw the note here. They haven't seen the memo, but yeah, I will share the date today. But again, yeah, you start looking at, if you advertise, you know, middle of December, applications till first part of January, and an interview. I mean, probably the best you could be looking at would be end of January, 1st of February to get
Yeah,
somebody
by
hired.
the time they do notice.
So, time gets away. And I will let Nicole Fox know, or I'll send her a copy of my memo too, so she's aware that, you know, that I set my retirement date, and I don't know whether she'll, does your email work?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I might give her yours and Scott's email just in case she has anything she wants to share with you. Local systems will be somewhat involved because they will want to look at the applicant that you choose and make sure that there isn't any issues with them being qualified as per code to serve. I know there's been cases in the past where counties have hired engineers out of state and their license the reciprocity didn't come through because of different technicalities in the codes between the states. And so they'll want to make sure that there's no issue there with whoever you're hiring is qualified, so. And I'm sure she would, you know, I'm not sure what other help she'll provide, but if you've got any questions, you know.
Thank you for your service. 13 years have gone by.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
fast.
went to write that down, I go, can it be?
That's right, because
Can it
it's
be
right
13 years?
when I came on. And
It'll be
so-
13
Right
years,
before I came.
Yeah,
it'll be 13 years in February,
yeah.
so. Yeah, it's
Um,
going fast, and
So what are you gonna do with all your spare time?
I don't know yet. Like I told somebody, I can farm the daylight now.
I see.
And my granddaughter, you know, with her issues with cerebral palsy, I'll, you know, be
Sure.
spending extra time helping
Sure.
my daughter and her husband out there, so.
Nice that you can do that.
But, yeah, it's easy to talk about it, but when it comes time to put it on paper, it gets tougher to do, so.
Over this time, I think it's worked out well for both counties and with where you resided, right in the middle of the two, it
Yeah.
certainly worked out. And I think financially, in the big picture, it was a positive thing. And where you were living in, I mean, you're absolutely just right in the middle.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I don't think you're probably gonna find somebody that wants to live in Lytton.
Right. Well, and that's, you just really, we really have no idea what's gonna pop
Yeah,
up, and when we needed to make a replacement when you were hired, quite frankly, the pool was lousy, and so I'm hoping that there's a much better pool this time, because it was terrible, and so We appreciate Calhoun County allowing us to do that, and you too, so.
But that'll be some of the things that need to be talked about at the interview is, you know, which county's gonna host. I think the only thing maybe that, you know, right now, all the costs are basically be splitting 50-50. Back when I started, Calhoun County bought a laptop that I used, and I carried that back and forth for probably 8 years or better, and then at the time, you know, cell phones were coming into usage. Sac County provided my cell phone, and Sac County continues to pay my cell phone bill. Calhoun County supplied that laptop, and sort of was sort of a trade-off. But then, eventually, the laptop got to the point where it needed replaced, and with internet connectivity and everything, I just decided it was easier just to have a computer at both locations and log on through the internet, and that's what I've done for the last 3 or 4 years.
As far as the new person, I mean, both groups have to be flexible wherever they can find the best living arrangements. It'll be totally up to them, and I mean, this is a once in a lifetime deal where you lived immediately in the middle, and,
Yeah.
and we won't have that expectation, and we're both going to have to be flexible at wherever they find a place to live. That you just have to
And
accept that.
Be a quick learning curve for somebody outside the area. I mean, the territory from southwest of Wall Lake up to Barnum, it's a lot of territory.
I think, I mean, in here they give you a number of places to advertise, and some of them are national magazines and stuff. And I guess personally, I feel that you'd probably best be served by an engineer that was already working in Iowa someplace.
I do too.
They know the DOT system, you know, that side of it, you know, would not be new to them.
Plus, if
But-
they're already serving in Iowa, they're already licensed, and
Right,
you don't
right.
have to worry about that obstacle.
But there might be an engineer that, you know, outside of Iowa that would be well qualified too, and maybe had it even worked in Iowa and moved out and might be wanting to come back. I mean, you never know. But
Is there any indicator out there as far as in visiting with your engineers group as to, is there going to be a decent number available, or do you have any indication as to what might be out there?
Through some conversations, I think I know there's at least, I think, a couple engineers that have heard I'm thinking about retiring and wanted to make sure I let them know.
Huh?
So I'm hopeful that
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
for a number of them that have, you know, been working for a number of years in Iowa and looking for a change, you know, I think, you know, that's why I think I decided I need to get this out here now before the engineers conference, and then
Yeah, I would appreciate that.
Yeah.
have a chance to, if anybody's gonna ask me questions, that's a good place to talk about it, so.
Sure. Absolutely.
Last item there, and maybe you've already heard them, there's gonna be some ads running about the need for increased road funding.
Who's doing that?
Contractors.
Yeah, I was general contractor.
Yeah,
Is that it?
I read, there's a press, I read it, was on my desk.
Okay.
That, the first ads are gonna be directed at safety issues, bridges, and kind of designed to generate, you know, simpler, get emotional, get people, you know, concerned about safety issues, and then the follow-up after that is gonna be more informational.
Well,
Thing.
I
You
had
read
also
that?
read somewhere that some other group has come out not supporting the increase, and I don't remember the group.
Well, it's probably kind of like people that don't wanna raise property tax, like the Stanley Group, you know, they spent, you know, different acronyms for their organization.
I got an email, actually a couple of them, one of them from the county engineers legislative. Lyle Brem from Tama County is the county engineer's. He spends a lot of time when the legislation is in session down in Des Moines, and he said there's also going to be a American Society of Civil Engineers is going to publish a report card on Iowa's infrastructure in the near future. It is likely the report card will show severe problems with our bridges. Also there will be some commercials coming out in various parts of the states about the condition of our bridges. So I'll probably try to look at the number of posted bridges we got and put some kind of information together. If I get any questions, I can answer them. I mean, our bridges, I'd have to look, but I don't think we've got anything posted on our paved roads now except for, I'm trying to remember where that bridge up there in Eden is posted for one truck at a time. Otherwise, all our paved road bridges are legal limits. So it's basically our bridges on our lower traffic gravel roads that are getting in the slowly deteriorating, I guess, and we just haven't got the money to replace all of them. So the public's going to need to know that, you know, we aren't going to be able to afford to replace all of them, even with this, even if we get a gas increase. You know,
Ron, are we, you're leaving in March, are we going to bid on anything in Sac County this spring?
we have nothing right now.
That bridge at Lakeview, you mentioned north of Lakeview.
Yeah.
That'll probably be next year.
Yeah.
And we're not doing any road resurfacing?
No. We've been working a little bit, trying to lay out down there that bridge by Ulmer, East Ulmer, that
Yeah.
railroad bridge. We've been trying to lay out some curves and try to get an idea how much land we might need to relocate that road. And so that's a project that we will continue to work on and try to contact the landowners to see, you know, what kind of whether there's a possibility they would sell us the property to do that. But as far as major projects, we've got some other bridges we need to work on, but they're not ready for letting yet. So yeah, as far as projects, it's a good time to switch engineers. So again, I won't be at the board meeting next week, and before the next board meeting I'll be at, then they will have those pipeline meetings.
1 o'clock on the 15th.
Yeah. Here in Sac, that's Monday, right, the 15th?
Mhm.
And then there's one in Rockwell City at, I can't remember, is it 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock?
I had one in Sioux County yesterday or last night,
Did they?
standing room only.
Where's that at? Where's the meeting?
Community Center.
Community Center. And then at Rockwell City in the evening at 6 p.m. it's at the,
Rec Center here in town.
yeah.
Rec-
1015 West Main?
Rec
That's
Center.
the Rec Center, right?
Yeah.
And then they've got one in Rockwell City that night at 6 p.m. in the expo there at the fairgrounds.
They're when I met with them, it's already several months ago now. Their schedule is way too aggressive. There's no way that they
Yeah.
can. I don't see.
I think I've already heard them back off, because at that time they were thinking they'd be done by the end of 2015, didn't they?
Yeah, or early 16.
And now they're saying by the end of 16. And,
At the time, I think I told them.
there was a Channel 8 interviewed some guy in Story County that was supportive of it, but then they also had a gal that was opposing it from the Iowa Citizens for, I can't remember what the name of it was. But, so yeah, there will be opposition, so.
Well, and I know, from the ag standpoint, nobody's wild about severing tiles and all those things, but in the big picture for the ag piece, if they can get a bunch of that oil off the rail, that'll be good for, those grain producers, you know, they're battling in northwest Iowa and up in further northwest than that, they're not getting rail space. They just can't get it.
Yeah. I know the gal was talking about, you know, pollution and et cetera, and I would venture to guess that the safety record for pipelines is a lot better than rail cars and trucks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's always the issue that if you have a spill, and of course with a pipeline, if you have a spill, it's maybe gonna be a bigger one, but.
This is switching gears again, but I've had just a number of citizens say things to me about how much scrutiny the Iowa DOT is putting on. The last one was just simply a dually pickup. That my frustration is a lot of folks, when they license their vehicles, don't have information when they change rules. He was chased down because he didn't go through the scale with a dually pickup.
Oh, yeah?
And so then, beyond that conversation, then it gets to people are just avoiding that area like the plague, which then puts them on our county roads. You know, they're just staying away from that intersection because.
They don't want a chance of being open.
And what's frustrating to me is that a lot of people don't, including myself, have no idea what the rules are and when they change the rules. And who would have known that you were supposed to stop with a dually pickup with no trailer? I mean,
I would have thought.
no. And I've had a tire service truck guy tell me that he read the riot act and ticketed, and with just a simple dual-wheeled tire service truck. There's just been multiple people that, and my discomfort with that is if they're changing these rules, they need to let people know, not after the fact. They need to let them know in advance. And if you choose then not to follow the rules, that's another matter. But if you don't know it, that's just ridiculous.
I was at a meeting here recently where a guy from enforcement talked a little bit, and then he was handing out trucking in Iowa. It's a little bound guide that they have available, and I don't know, do they have them down here?
Well, no, I mean, all we get, like, in my conversations are if you have any questions, all they have is an 800 number, and quite frankly, when you call that 800 number, they're given different answers to the same question, and I think they ought to have a responsibility to provide that information out here to local, county, license plate distributing places to say this is what the current rules are now, and at least have the ability to look at something so you know what's current and what's right, and they're not doing that.
I've got one of those trucking in Iowa guides. I will see if I can't pick up some more. And maybe just get at least one to the treasurer's office or ask them down there.
And so what in a lot of these cases we're now getting a lot of that traffic transferred to county roads because they don't want to use the state ones where those checkpoints are.
Yeah.
And so they're just beating the crap out of our county roads because in one way they're not familiar with what they really need to be doing, and the second piece is the costs.
Well, and apparently enforcement has got some newer guys working in this area, and they are maybe, like with all that enforcement, part of it is, you know, your interpretation a little bit, and
Sure.
then who do you want to be aggressive, or who do you want to target and go after? Because there was a concrete pumper based out of Webster County, and a state guy followed him down the state road until he pulled off on a county road, and then he stopped him, and the guy had his state permit. In fact, he supposedly had taken his truck down, I think it was to Ankeny, he told me, to have it weighed and make sure he had everything right. He tried to say that the guy down there told him that was all he needed. Well, it's right on the permit that you also need county and city permits separately.
So as soon as you pulled onto the county road after being stopped, he wrote him up for being on the county road?
Yeah.
Good.
And because he's a concrete pumper, he's short wheelbase, and so he does need a oversized permit because of that. But I've had other guys, a trucker from Shaler, can't remember his name right now, was down at our office one day and said he'd got stopped, and he tried to claim that for years he's been stopped on county roads with his state permit, and they've looked at him, waved him on. Well, I don't know whether he's telling me the truth or not, but he came in to get a permit, and he'd never gotten a permit from us, from Sac County in the past, but he obviously needed to have a oversized permit. But, so I don't know whether they've got officers that, before, if they had the state permit, they didn't, and they were on county roads, they didn't worry about it, and these newer guys are making sure.
Well, but there's, my frustration is that they need to have that knowledge or be notified. One of the other examples of it, like with pickups, pulling trailers, I've been told a bunch of different times that, like with a car trailer, you need to have raised the license on your pickup, and they're ticketing for that, and they never have before, and so I come in and get my I raised mine when I heard that, because I pull a trailer, but a lot of folks don't know it, and they'll get stopped and get a significant fine, and they weren't told down here that you need to be concerned about having a higher level license on your pickup, on your farm pickup that you've been using, and just simply a car trailer would put you over.
I think there's a lot of questions even on what trailer, whether it's a farm trailer, because farm trailers don't have to be licensed, correct?
That's why I've always interpreted.
But if you're not using it for farm purposes, then all of a sudden you should be licensed.
And that's kind of been that way all along. But who would have known or thought that if you're pulling a car trailer, that if you have an additional possibly 500 pounds on the tail of your pickup, that your normal license on your pickup now is inadequate, and that's a significant fine.
I got a question. We went up to Sioux City twice, and they're grading, they're moving dirt, and after they get the north side done and paved, are they gonna just let the existing, they're not gonna have to reconstruct all that?
Yeah, they will. They'll get the north lanes done, route the traffic over on the new lanes, and then they'll take the old lanes and I assume they'll do, I haven't seen any plans, but I assume they'll do a complete reconstruction.
Really?
Like they did out here on N14, they'll tear out what's there. And
Are they going to do that the whole way?
I would guess so.
Are they?
Like from Mobile, I was just, from east of Mobile to
Almost to
Correctionville.
Yeah.
God, that seems like you could just use what's already there.
I think to meet the new safety standards, they go with a flatter foreslope and wider shoulders.
Jeez. Some of that's in pretty good shape. I mean,
Yeah.
well, it's like 196. Kind of the same logic behind. To me, that's big ditch, up in the air, just, they're spending a lot of money.
Yeah. And those projects, I did see are in the January letting.
Are they?
I don't know whether,
Oh, the bridges and the,
they've got the two bridges, the box culvert, the paving grading, a signing contract, or I think it's a signing contract. There's like 5 projects, but I don't know whether they're tying them all together under one contract. I guess I
And
didn't.
then the whole reconstruction of where they intersect, you know, up there by Hostings,
Yeah.
that's all gonna be torn out and redone. That'll be a T intersection now instead of a
yeah,
curve.
And that's the most drastic changes down there, because they're gonna lower where our gravel road comes in there. I think that gets lowered about almost 10 feet to flatten that grade.
from the east, the gravel road coming from the east.
The
go
whole
down.
intersection is gonna go down about.
Oh,
nine-
where the reconstruction, that whole intersection?
Yeah, where that intersection is now, where our gravel road comes in from the
Yeah.
east.
Huh.
The new grade, the new pavement will be about 9 foot lower, I think, than what's there.
Huh.
I'd have to look at the plans again to see, but I know it's close to that. But
Wow.
That'll be a detour.
and we should be getting an agreement from the DOT to do the reconstruction back on our paved roads, which they haven't gotten us yet. I don't know where that's at, but
The new section going to New 20 from D36 Old 20 to New 20, I find myself driving way too fast. That was a nice piece of road. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
because it's just like,
I got a letter in the
Oh,
mail
yeah.
from the city of Des Moines, they had a traffic camera. They said I was driving, you know, I couldn't have been going that fast. I had to pay, you know, traffic on the freeway, 235.
235, yeah.
How much over?
I was over.
He'll tell you that later.
Wait till the recorder's.
good answer, Dave. Well, some of that, you know, you find yourself just kind of going with the flow. And,
Yeah.
you know, that's,
Well, you're running is going faster, you're
Yeah.
going faster.
yeah.
I think I might have been leading the flow.
Oh, is that right?
When we were behind schedule.
I see.
Well, thanks, Ron.
Yeah, Ron.
Yep.
Yeah,
Keep me posted if you and Scott
Yeah.
want to get together and go
we'll see
through
if we
some.
get any,
Okay.
you'll talk to your staff now and they'll know. That's good.
Kim's been gone. Doug messed up his knee
I heard
and
that.
he had surgery yesterday. I guess I didn't hear. I assume everything went okay.
Where'd he go for that?
Dakota Dunes and I think Meyer tore the
ACL or something?
No.
didn't
ACL below your knee, right?
he? I don't remember.
I think it's the bicep attaching to the back side of the knee.
Huh?
I'm not sure what they call
Well,
it.
Rodell, you'll need to get in touch with Scott then and figure out.
I'll go downstairs and make you each a copy if you
Oh,
wanna read this.
Yeah.
Then I'll call Scott and
Okay.
maybe meet with Scott and Ron and.
I'll probably see Scott and Gary, some of those guys at convention Friday.
See you guys.
Thanks, Dale.
I think they're, you know, busy with them. Is Dean retiring?
I had heard after the first of the year, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll see, he usually, you know, maybe I'll run into him, find out, you know, what's going on there. If he retires, they'll appoint somebody or have a special election.
Well, he's got 2 years left, so I assume they'll do an election. Because it's really only midstream for him.
Yeah.
Are they at large? Are they in district?
No, they're district.
Just like us?
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Kurt.
Are you good? Did you guys adjourn?
Not quite.
We'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all ayes, motion carries.